Simmer, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella?
Hello, and welcome to my car. This is a 1989 BMW 535i with a 5-speed. I got it September 2010, and it has been the absolute best first car I could have asked for. Bought it with 150,000 miles on the clock. It's got 170,000 now. Apart from oil changes, I haven't really done anything to it that it needed, other than a radiator replacement, which I did myself for $220. That lady's looking at me funny because I am talking by myself, so is he. So I thought as I went over to visit some friends, I would make a short review. The E34 BMW 5 Series is a fun car. This one's got the 3.5-liter 6-cylinder called the M30 engine. Known for being one of the most bulletproof engines BMW's ever made. It will go for 300,000 plus miles if you just take care of it. That's pretty much all that needs to be said about that. It's got about 208 horsepower, 225 foot-pounds of torque, but with the 5-speed, it keeps up with cars well above that. My friend has an 06 330i with an auto, and he can't pull more than a car length from me up to 80 miles an hour. So it's pretty quick for its age and for its size. What else do I like about it? Pretty much everything, actually. Onboard trip computer is awesome. Does average miles per gallon, obviously time and date, temperature, average miles per hour, distance, fuel range, tank, all that stuff. A timer, if for some reason you feel like seeing how long it takes you to get somewhere. An arrival calculator. You type in how many miles away your destination is, and it will calculate your estimated time of arrival. It always impresses the friends with that one. Other than that, it's pretty much standard high-quality German car in here. Sunroof is standard, leather seats are standard. Yeah, I mean, not really any options that weren't on this car, apart from the limited slip differential. So, I mean, then again, there weren't many options to choose from, because it already came from Europe with so many things standard, because, you know, US buyers are a bit more snobby than the typical European. So, that aside, it is a fantastic performer. Handles like any, you know, $50,000 car should. Brakes like any $50,000 car should. It set a world record for 4-door sedan stopping distance when it came out. It was the shortest of any sedan on the market at the time. I think it's like 130 something feet. So easily comparable with a modern car. Speakers are decent. They're 20 years old, so there's nothing that remotely resembles a subwoofer in here, but it's still, you know, much better than probably what you'd get in a modern Toyota Corolla or some Kia or something. And for $3,000, you really can't go wrong. The original seller was asking $3,500. The car didn't have very much interest for whatever reason. So, you know, I played it out a little bit, gave him a call, still hadn't sold it. I said, alright, call me when you want to lower the price, still hadn't sold it. Until finally I offered him, what did I said $3,000. He said $3,100. There was a parking ticket on the car worth $50, so he decided to pay that, and we settled at $3,050 exactly. And you really can't get a better car for the money if your requirements are 4 doors, comfy seats, comfy ride, quiet, fast, sporty, looks good, feels good. I mean, it's pretty much everything you want. Originally I was looking at every car under the moon. Jags, Corvettes, even the old ones, a couple Mustangs, Alfa Romeos, MGs, Triumphs, anything that'd make a cool first car I was looking at. And then I finally realized at some point that, you know, it's probably not very practical to get a two-door as a first car. I would rather have this than try to fit 5 people in the back of a, I don't know, some little 3 Series two-door and try to go into the city for the night. Or I'd much rather have this than, you know, driving home late at night with an old Alfa with a leaky roof or something. So there's definitely something to be said about a combination. That's a bummer. Something to be said about a combination of fun, reliability, and common sense, which is basically what the E34 is all about. So nothing's gone wrong with the car since I've had it. There's a few quirks. I mean, it's 20 years old, so you know you're gonna expect some things to give you surprises, but that's part of what makes owning a first car exciting, is that it does unexpected things. For example, every once in a while my fog light warning will come out, so I go check the front of the car, you know, fog light's working, obviously. Reset it, still says it, you know, just goes out randomly. Little electrical glitches like that are the only thing I've encountered with this car. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's part of the experience. Hello, everyone seems to be looking at. That's another thing to take into consideration is the color. This one's bright red if you haven't been able to tell. I like it a lot. I think it's a perfect for a first car, teenager, you know, young hooligan screaming around in a BMW. Not really, very safe. But yeah, I mean, driver airbag was standard, passenger airbag was standard later cars, but this is, like I said, the first year they released it, so it had a few things left out that the other cars got. Traction control being another one of them, which is honestly really helpful when it's raining and you're on a windy road. Don't drive like an idiot under those circumstances. It's my old school. Acceleration is very satisfactory, as is everything else. The only things I've done performance-wise to the car are an engine chip, which basically tells the computer to put in more fuel and change the spark plugs around and stuff. And so I got more power to that, and also increased fuel economy, which was an unexpected surprise. Then I put in new fuel injectors. They're still Bosch, so they're the OEM brand, but they were designed in this century as opposed to the dark ages, so they work a lot better. You know, just more efficient fuel injection. And those two things bumped my mileage from the original 16.5 to now I get about 18.5 or 19. So definitely worth it. And everything on this car is cheap to do. The chip was maybe $200. The fuel injectors were $80. The radiator, like I said, was $250 if you do it yourself, of course. But you know, a car this old, it's so much more approachable to do everything on yourself. So that's another one of the benefits. Aftermarket parts there's millions of them if you're into that. I put new wheels on my car, and that's about it. What else? That's pretty much it. My air conditioning doesn't work. Not really bothered by that, seeing as it's currently, I was gonna say it's currently about 70 degrees because it feels like 70 in here, but it's telling me it's 56 outside. That wasn't really important, actually. And we're driving like an old person. Not all of my friends agree with me on this one, but I feel like this is one of the few cars where you can just have a great time with your friends, you know, blasting music, sunroof open, windows down, going crazy one night, and the next night pull into valet parking at a nice restaurant, and the car seems to work well in both situations. But maybe that's just my wishful thinking. Whatever you do, don't get a Prius. They're awful. This engine is ridiculously easy to use in traffic and at slow speed. I'm in second gear right now, accelerating from a stop sign uphill. It doesn't put up too much of a fight at all. It's got so much torque. That's the main thing that sets it apart from the 3-liter V8 that replaced it and the 2.5-liter 6-cylinder below it. It's kind of in a class of its own in that one respect of everyday usability and brute force. Unless you get the 4-liter V8 and that just destroys everything. This is the school where I am meeting my friend. So, I guess that concludes our very short review. This is a large bump, but my car, with its immense ride height, has no problem. If you lower it, you might experience some scrapage. You know, I tend to go for the OEM off-roader look. It's very utilitarian and butch, and I like to think that I resemble nothing of the sort, but it's still very useful. Alright. Look, the fog light warning just came out there. That's it. Car's really quiet inside until you get on the gas for a bit, and then it starts to get a little more interesting. Very comfortable. These are the comfort seats. You can have sport seats, which are probably even better, but I've read they're not as good for long distance cruising and stuff, and I do a lot of that in this thing. And yeah, this is Big Red, and I hope you consider it in your car search. Alright, bye.
And I we make love to precious Sim Simmer. Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar.